Hello and welcome back. Once again, we are here at YCS Utrecht 2020. I get confused because there's that many players. So 2,227 players we started with, and we are just down to 8. That many players have been eliminated, gone, done and dusted in the public event stage. That's what they're doing right now. But these two duelists are still here, and they're looking for a spot in the top 4. We have an Italian mirror match going on with these two guys. First, let's introduce Matteo from Italy, of course. Welcome, please take a seat. And we have Giuseppe, also from Italy, please. So you've already decided who is going first. Who is going first? Okay, great. Let's take it over to our commentary team. It is Nadir and Darren. Take it away, guys.
Hello everyone and welcome back. This is top 8 of YCS Utrecht 2020. Over 2,000 players entered this event and we are slowly narrowing down and only 8 remain. Wow, what a deck we've got. I just want to get straight into talking about this. This deck
crazy,
is
right?
What is it? What is it?
I don't know.
I
don't know how to describe it.
It has to be like Matteo's 60 favorite cards.
Yeah.
It's just his favorite cards. There's so much stuff in here.
Absolutely stole my power. Straight up, I said this like half an hour ago.
Would you like to say it?
It's a bit late now.
Okay.
But yes, this is literally you got a pile of cards and he was like, this one's pretty good.
This is a good one.
Pretty
That's
good,
a good one.
He was card sorting or something. He was just like, it's probably in a deck box.
It's 60 cards, it's rockets, it's Burning Abyss, it's dinos, it's everything. It's 60 cards of just nonsense, and I can't wait to see this Guard Dragon combo, whatever it is
It's everything you can find in a binder.
Yeah, I think he's just put together a commons box or something. But I believe...
Seems like it has some insane synergy if it's made it to top 8.
Exactly, right. So he's doing something right. I think the purpose of this is... Cherubini. I think that's the heart and soul of what he's trying to go for, right? He's got a lot of rank 3 access.
A lot of level 3, so it looks like he just wants to turbo into a Cherubini to achieve, I have no idea what.
We don't know what the win condition is. There's an Imperial Order as well.
There is an Imperial Order right there.
Maybe that's
so
the win
imagine
condition.
He's doing some sort of combo with Pisti. So he's incorporated Cherubini and Pisti in a combo, which is something I've actually never seen before.
Yeah, Delphi, like the whole Guard Dragon stuff, right?
Yeah,
so.
it seems like it'll be pretty cool. It'll be really interesting to see. I think he's starting as well, so it'll be really interesting to see.
He's going second.
He's going second? Oh.
Yeah.
I really wanted to see him see what sort of one more combo he would do. But he is playing Nightmare Griffin, so the main deck in Imperial Order does make sense if he was to go do that sort of combo.
That sort of combo, whatever it is.
I don't know. I couldn't call it.
His opponent is playing Spyro as well, so this is...
We've seen enough Spiral. So here's some more Spiral.
It's been particularly dominant, actually, so we want to talk a little bit about the deck breakdown, so we can take a little look at that and give you a little comparison and show you exactly where we are now. So this is top 64. This is where we started off, top cut. This is the decks here that you can quickly print screen, share around social media, etc. But Spyro taking the most... representation here with a lot of, I guess, just uncategorized deck, a bunch of Shaddolls, a bunch of Matteo's thing as well.
As you can see, Spiral is the most represented there, followed by Salamangreat and Other tied together. But we got Other in the top 8 now.
So we can see as we slowly progress forward onto top 32, Spiral
Other's doing really well. Look at its conversion rate.
It seems to top every event. Has anyone played this archetype?
So much Other. There was a lot of Other that entered the event, to be fair.
Yeah,
it has got a really good conversion rate. You would think when there's 1,000 Others entering it to be able to take up all 32 for 64 spots.
So as we progress down to top 8, you can see Invoke Shaddol not doing as well as we initially thought. It was my pick for this event, but it seems Spiral.
You're a liar. Spiral was your pick for an event. Invoke Shaddol was actually my pick for the event.
I was hoping you'd pick up on that.
Solely switching teams, I see.
And for the top 16, as we progress slowly onwards, Spiral again still
Your
ahead.
boy Spiral still the most represented deck in top cut in top 16.
Salamangreat, I think, was the most surprising to me because I thought, it's a very low ceiling deck, kind of slow and control
but
based.
It's safe. It's very safe, and we've seen that in a lot of European events. A lot of people just want to play something where they can play every hand. We've seen Gabriel Soucy's having a lot of success with Salamangreat right now, and I believe there's a player in top 8 with Salamangreat. That's because it just does the same thing every turn, and its traps are really powerful. Salamangreat Rage, Salamangreat Roar. It's no surprise to see it far in the top cut.
Moving on to top 8, which is exactly where we are now. There are 3 Spiral players still remaining, of course, one of them being in this match itself. 2 Salmon Greats remaining, European champion Gabriel Susi among one of the pilots. Invoke Shadal Jordan, as we saw him earlier on stream. A pure Invoke deck, I think it's Mech Knight Invoked, correct?
Yes, I believe it is. I don't think you can play Invoked without the Mech Knights, because you just beat Alistair pass every round, so you need to complement it with some sort of engine.
Not Wind Witches, unfortunately. Maybe in April.
Yeah, back in the day it was Wind Witches.
Back
yeah.
in the day. It was
and
like
you would
2
just
years
summon
ago.
a big crystal wing.
We can do that in
like,
April, though. I can't wait. I can't wait to summon a Crystal Wing in April.
Yes, here we
New
go.
Master Rule revision
New Master Rule.
2020.
Yeah, maybe it'll come back, who knows?
Yep. And one other, which is counted as Matteo's deck list here. So if we can come back
It's
to
definitely
us
other
here
for
in the
sure.
desk.
If you were to describe other as something, if you would have put it on a deck list, it's right here. Like, just look at this. It's incredible. Like, imagine.
Has
to
he got
have,
tools
like,
for going second, do you think? Because he did lose the dice roll, but I don't know. Did he want to go second because he's making 3 copies of Dart Ruler no more?
He sure is.
So
maybe it is just a pile where he has both going first and going second, and he in the 60 cards just like, well, I lost the roll. I hope my draw will go second.
an
cards.
actual just pile of the things. So I can't wait to see this.
Well, you draw them some of the time, and sometimes you don't.
Yeah. I also forgot to mention plants, by the way. There's plants in here. There's Lone Fires, there's Scorpio.
Well, you've got some. Is there dinosaurs in here too?
Yes, exactly. So Carbonedon plus Overraptor gets you into some kind. I was about to say Ib. F's in the chat for Ib.
It's Gillosaurus there too.
Gillosaurus, yeah.
Fiendish Rare, well, naturally Destrudo. So it starts off like a fairly decent, like, reasonable BA stuff. Then it goes blah, 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 blah. It's some dragons and rockets and stuff. And then, oh God, I'm very, very interested to see what on earth this deck does.
I can't wait to get into this match. So we're going to head on over to the players as they are now preparing to begin top 8, game 1, and turn 1. So Matteo is going to be going second here. Giuseppe on the right, piloting the Spiral deck.
So just to clarify what sort of Spiral build this is, we've seen Extravagance, Popper Up, and Scraps. So
oh my God, he just passed.
Excuse me?
He passed. He passed.
His hand is awful. So yeah.
Okay,
So,
I suppose.
But just going back, very unfortunate that he passed. But he is playing the Popper Up version, just to clarify that. But let's not delve into that too much, because we are going to see
finally see what Matteo's deck is capable of. Drawing the
potentially
the
utter destruction is about to happen here.
Not an ultimate rare, unfortunately. That's disappointing to see.
I know, what a shame, right? I guess it means that you can't synchro it, because with the ultimate rare you can synchro.
That was the worst thing that about this most recent Forbidden Limitless tour guide went to and I was like, oh my God, now I
have to get another ultimate rare. Nightmare.
Maybe another one in the next Forbidden Limitless.
Since this is Cherubini Turbo, there it is.
There we go, Cherubini, and we're going to see just exactly what he sends here, because he got the graph access with this tour guide. So Carbonedon.
He's a dinosaur.
All right,
Yeah,
so
there we go.
The first thing he does is pick it up. Like, what's
like,
this?
What is this? Like, what is this dinosaur?
So Carbonedon Dragon is, if I can just bring it up for you in a moment, I believe it banishes itself from the graveyard to special summon a normal monster from the graveyard. But Giuseppe being...
I think it's special dragon or from deck, I think. A level 1 dragon.
Something like that,
I think it's a normal monster, I believe it summons.
Okay, but the...
but he decrowed it, so I guess we'll never know unless we read it.
Unless we read it. So you can banish this from your grave and special from your hand or deck, a 7 or lower dragon normal monster.
Yeah, so you would summon the level 1 guy. I can't remember its name. You used to summon it off... Draconet, maybe? Maybe you don't, because you don't play the Draconet.
So the most
anymore.
recent sort of iterations that I've seen has been like Mathematician sending Carbonedon to summon a level 2, so like Galaxy Serpent,
that
I
was
believe,
that
to
was
go
it.
into Ib, the World Chalice Justicar, which is something we saw a lot of last year. That's typically where I've...
Rest in peace, though.
Yep, exactly.
It was one of my favorite cards, and it went...
Here's a boot sector launch as well, by the way.
Just chilling there. But it cuts him off from his base because you can't special them from hand anymore.
Yeah, well,
what a nightmare.
I don't think that's going to be too much of a problem here, because he's playing quite a small BA engine, just enough for the tour guide to bring out various
It looks like
materials.
he was fallen victim to the 2 DD
summoning
Crows.
2 rocket monsters from his hand with boot sector launch there.
Did you notice he actually used 2 DD Crows to actually interrupt it, and he's still going?
He's still going. He's still going.
Bootsec the launch just summons 2 rockets from his hand.
Yeah,
so you
just
could
want to point out that they are special summoned in defense mode, so that should be in defensive, but it's probably just going to be linked off
get linked
anyway.
away for LP.
Yep, we can see the 10-Yi monster is being summoned here. So
the arrows at night complement LP much nicely.
Yeah, I was going to say I'm pretty sure that's what the purpose is there, just specifically for the arrows.
So maybe he wanted to complement the rockets with an engine that you would dig for his rockets. So I suppose he felt that the BA engine or the level 3s to get into Cherubini, to give him access to his rocket engine or to give him access to plays like this was really beneficial for him.
Well, he's going to go with the Guard Dragon summoning Tracer directly from his deck with Guard Dragon LP. I'm already Tracer. Do you know that?
No.
You're not a TikTok person?
I'm not a TikTok guy, no.
Okay, well, lucky you. Anyway, he's linking off those 2 Guard Dragons into Romulus.
He's going to trade his current field spell with a Dragon Ravine.
Yep.
So give him access to another dragon, which it's probably likely to be Destrudo or something.
Yep, so he could be sending Destrudo. I think he might potentially send Absoluto Dragon. There's a whole bunch of things he could go for here.
Excuse me, Absoluto who?
Absoluto Dragon. Rocket. Absolute.
Oh, right. So what does this one do?
Well, we'll see if he sends it first. But Tracer is going to destroy the boot sector launch to bring out another rocket from his deck, and here he goes linking into a Borrelsword Dragon.
Pure damage.
Yes, he is.
I forgot for a second he was going second because I thought he was trying to do a combo, but here he is just going for straight up game.
He's just going to attack for game here. This Borrelode Savage Dragon.
Yeah, just to play around Battle Fader, I suppose.
Yeah. And he picks it up.
And that's it.
That's really unfortunate for Giuseppe.
Again, we see Spiral just utter bricking on stream. It's crazy, like how powerful this deck is, and it gets really unfortunate and just like
it's literally a glass cannon, you know. It can either go off and just put up some of the most formidable boards of the entire format, or it can just go pass.
We've seen it in top 32 as well, where it even managed to play through Nibiru as well, and
yes,
make an amazing board, and there it was just. Go ahead.
Sometimes you can just play through Nibiru on 6. And other times
barely play through yourself.
Play through it yourself. I'm going to play around myself.
Play around myself.
Good terminology there. So these players are going to be signing up for game 2 here, and it's just unfortunate. I mean, was it double DD Crow he opened
He did, yeah. It was
double DD Crow,
just a bunch
still
of
wasn't
rubbish.
enough.
Yeah, he had Helix, Big Red, double DD Crow, and Assault, and that does nothing.
It's the problem with the opening Spiral hands is that you tend to have like either you open like too many extenders, like a bunch of like Big Reds and like Agent and stuff, where it's like sometimes you're just missing that really important starter card. Like one Magician Soul in that hand would have completely like fixed his hand there.
Magician Soul solves a lot of problems with it as well because, like you say, especially it gets you access to Master Plan, ditches 2 Speller Traps, even on the field that you mentioned in the last feature, to draw 2 new cards, we can potentially get your engine going if you're in a pinch. And they play stuff like Extravagance and Popper up in certain variants because drawing cards normally gets you out of your brick.
Magician Souls is such an incredible card that was just released recently in Magical Hero. It's technically a Dark Magician card. Technically.
No, it's not. It's a Spiral card. And also seen in Lunalights as well.
You can see it in so many different decks. It's extremely versatile.
Very splashable.
I've seen it played in Fluffle, in Pure Fire Fist. There's a whole bunch of decks that just have like leftover spells as resources.
You can throw it in as well because like even if your deck like Spiral doesn't play a Dog Spellcaster, you can just chuck one in. You can play the Apprentice Magician, which is what people use. And even if you hard draw, it's just a generic card you can just special summon as well. And it has some utility with your engine because I think you have to discard a card to special it.
Yeah, so occasionally, sometimes if you're playing a deck like Luna, you could put something into the graveyard and then bring it back with Tiger or something. So not drawing it isn't too bad in and of itself. But yeah, it's such a great like generic card, Dark Magician card, but it just feels like so generic. It was just designed for like...
It's for Dark Magician!
It's a cost as well to remember, so it's an effect is the special summon from its hand. But it's a cost to send to the deck.
No, I don't want you to special summon that. No. I think the main thing is that it just sends a card.
I have yet to see anyone negate a Magician Soul.
Sometimes you have to, because it can...
Turn off Wear Off, though?
Yeah. Sometimes you have to negate, like when I played like Altergeist, like sometimes you have to like, when you're in a pinch, you have to like protocol it away just so it doesn't special summon, so you don't... It can brick them. A lot of the times with Spiral, you have to just negate the first thing they do when you're playing against Spiral.
Because sometimes that can just end their turn, right?
Yeah, sometimes, because very early on they can be very vulnerable, and that's why you can't hold the Ash for the Helix like you could back in 2017, because they've got so many pushes before Helix now. Sometimes they don't even have to resolve Helix to get their engine going now, because you have access the master plan all the time.
So Giuseppe is going to be starting up this this match here, this duel here, and I would assume he's going to go first because it's Spiral, but he has so much hate for going second.
How was his main deck built? I think he built it. I think it was the.
It seems very standard to me. I mean, there's a Metal Foes fusion.
It's the Trigate version, I think, because he's playing Free Rescue in the main, so he would absolutely go first, I think.
He's definitely playing Trigate Wizard. So the very heavy combo version is the kind of style that Giuseppe's going for here. And I would assume you'd have to go first with his deck.
All his side cards are for going second, and I don't think he would put any of them in going first.
So we're just getting those hands loaded up. Oh my god, there's an emergency teleport. He's literally playing everything.
So the kitchen sink could have potentially sided. There's a bunch of kaijus here. He sides Trisbane for all the guys matchups, and he sides Reboot Twin,
a bunch of
Storm and stuff. Anti-magic arrows as well.
Yeah, so anti-magic arrows is a super powerful card that we actually haven't seen a lot of yet, but was kind of popularized, I suppose, maybe at the last UDS, where you can go straight to your battle phase, and it essentially cold waves your opponent for the whole turn. They can't use spell and traps, I think. So you just go to battle phase, activate anti-magic arrows, go to main phase 2, and you just combo off.
But speaking of a pseudo cold wave, we play in the instant fusion variant as well, so it means you can summon Millennium Eyes Restrict. And what makes that really cool is it's a level 1 which makes Wear Off Thou more live, and it means that if he was to draw him after the search for Wear Off Thou, he can just negate it, so he's forced to hold any hand traps that he has until the Millennium Eyes Restrict is off the board.
Millennium Eyes has just been it's such a great card because it's just a Call by the Grave on legs.
It's better than Call by the Grave because it complements your engine as well.
Right, exactly. The only reason we haven't seen so many people playing Millennium Eyes, I think, is most obviously because of the fact that you have to use your extra monster zone initially, so it clogs up that the extra monster zone before you can actually combo off. And a lot of decks need to go into the extra monster zone to be able to combo off, right?
But I think with this one, it's particularly fine because you can play stuff like Linkuriboh. But with Spiral, the deck's so tight, and you can't really play it with extravagance and the fear of banishing your instant fusion targets. So I think that's why he's went for the Pop Rob version, so he has more leeway in his extra deck. Because in the extravagance version, you have to play 3 of each copy or something just in case you lose it.
So Giuseppe seems to have a much better hand here. He's actually going to...
Oh yeah, absolutely.
He will be playing this duel. These duels are for 2 players. So
but he won't be playing for much longer because Matteo has a Dark Ruler No More in that hand.
Dark Ruler No More is just a real bane for Spyro. Is there any generic outs to that you would make in Spyro going first?
You would play Utility Wire, just so you have some sort of a defense because it only stops the monsters on the field, not the spell and trap card zone. But he doesn't play Utility Wire.
No, not at all.
So if he is to get Dark Ruler No More, he would have to watch Matteo potentially OTK him again. And I don't think there's any sort of backup plan for that. There's no real setup you can have other than Utility Wire or Spiral. You would make a really big board, and he could potentially search DD Crow, which he already has. So he could set himself up with 2 DD Crows that he could potentially protect himself with. But as we've seen, 2 DD Crows wasn't quite enough last time.
Yeah, double DD Crows. Still, Matteo was able to power through those hand traps and still go for game.
He did have 6 cards that time, though, so you'll have one less card because of Dark Rule No More be used. But shouldn't be a problem.
I mean, if he can just turn off Giuseppe's entire field here, you can see that he can go for Dark Ruler, and then he has a Turbine access because he can go Emergency Teleport into a level 3, and then normal summon Auto Rocket Dragon, which is a level 3 rocket, and just that by itself can
also dig for more cards with Jackalope as well.
Yeah, he's got Jackalope as well. So it seems like he's going to definitely go for a really, really nice push in the following turn here.
But he's going to give him a not so great card now. He has a pick.
Yep.
To choose.
That's an Absa-Rotor, I think.
That is a Kaiju, so you don't want to give him the Kaiju.
And there's a
But
Graph
I think
as
in this scenario, you probably do actually want to give him the Kaiju. If you had full knowledge of his hand.
Surely just give him Graph, right?
No, but what I'm saying is, if you had full knowledge of his hand, then giving him the Kaiju would mean he would have one less card to OTK you with. But of course, you wouldn't give him the Kaiju because you wouldn't know that. So he would give him the Graph, because it's
Yeah, so I see what you're saying, because we have the perfect hand knowledge.
Yeah.
It seems like the most correct.
So he is going for to get a second DD Crow here, which he does play 2 copies of, I think. Yep. He does.
It seems like if he is going for the heavy monster sort of break my board theme, it's
very weak to Dark Ruler No More.
Yeah, but the plus side is that he does have double DD Crow Call by the Grave to be able to protect him.
Exactly.
So.
Oh yes, Call by the Grave is a defensive card too. I didn't see that. Yes, that could potentially hold them off then. Because Call by the Grave's quite strong against rockets because it does a lot of stuff in the graveyard. And not to mention it's good against whatever Cherubini he sends. So maybe Giuseppe's looking okay then.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be a lot more of a back and forth matchup. Going to be interesting to see just how Matteo is going to be able to play through these disruptions despite the Dark Ruler no more.
If the board sticks as well, that's a lot to deal with because he has to deal with every single monster. Because if Helix stays on field, if he doesn't link it away, no Appaloosa. Actually, sorry, the Helix will stay on field because he's going to make the Tri-Gate board. So there'll be an Appaloosa, Tri-Gate, Helix, and maybe either Secure Gardener or Phoenix. So the Phoenix, if he makes a Phoenix, it'll protect his stuff from being destroyed by battle, which would be super awkward for him to deal with.
But it shouldn't matter because of Dark Ruler, right?
But, well, yeah, it does negate it, you're right, yeah. But it's still, like, I guess it's bigger. It just makes it more awkward.
Okay, right. I don't think
I've never seen that before.
That's not
Spiral.
standard.
No, I thought he was going for a Appaloosa for 4. I wonder what he's digging for.
All right, cool. Well, draw 4.
This is one of the most unorthodox things I've ever seen. Is that Metal Force Fusion?
Let's see what he's drawn here.
Oh, he plays Metal Force Fusion. How about that?
Yeah, so we mentioned that during the sighting there. I suppose it's just there to, I don't know, unbreak. Because we've seen Foolish Burial Goods drawn in a lot of people's hands this weekend. And I guess if they could, if they have a brick, they can Foolish the Metal Foes and try and get, like, into the soul or something.
That's very reasonable. Yeah, no, good call. Like, making goods have an extra utility by just drawing it in the next card.
He kept on rolling Lockbird, which doesn't seem ideal in this matchup. Maybe.
There's nothing really you can side out.
I suppose that's the problem,
he's
right?
He's rolling Lockbird. That's probably the one. That's literally the one copy he plays.
Yeah, so sometimes you can see like questionable choices in players' hands, like something like Droll versus a very graveyard-oriented deck, but that's not necessarily because they want to play that. It's just like their side deck and main deck just doesn't have the right cards to be able to shift in and out.
You could have potentially brought in like one Twin Twister, so you wouldn't lose the Mystic Mine.
Twin Twister.
Yeah, I mean, it's
just one.
It's doing better than Drawn Lockbird.
That's true.
But to be fair, Drawn Lockbird's a level 1, which can turn Wear Off on, which does come up sometimes.
Yeah, okay, true. So maybe you could just always keep one Droll in because you're playing the Wear Off if you ever draw both.
Just a level 1, and if you have it, then it's going to do something.
Yeah.
I know this deck probably doesn't add as much as we think it does because the Rocket Engine, from what I remember, only adds once, and then it can do full combo from there. And the Burn Abyss engine doesn't really add at all.
So if you're Giuseppe at this point, like, what are you thinking? Like, your opponent has had no responses whatsoever. Their cards are just face down, like, and your opponent's just watching you play. Like, what are you thinking? Like,
honestly, since he went for Siuja, I have no idea what he's thinking now. I'm not massively sure where he's going with this.
Like, do you think maybe he's like, still trying to maybe perhaps anticipate like a Nibiru or something? Because I mean, he
Well, clearly not. If he went straight for Nibiru, he would have. Sorry, if he was worried about Nibiru, he wouldn't have went for Siuja.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure what sort of board he's thinking about, because he does seem to just keep going and going and going, which again shows how mental Spiral can be, because it just doesn't seem to stop. But like, I would like to think he is just going for the Tri-Gate board.
I've generally never seen Spyro go into this Saryuya thing. Of course, like Twitch chat has. I mean, I have Smile. You guys have seen it all. You guys are the experts.
I've seen it.
But
I've done it.
I'm curious to see just how he ends with this combo. Is that a Scapegoat?
Is that a second Drawn Lockbird?
What does that spell he just drew there?
Pop-her up.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, don't worry, it's not Scapegoat.
It's got like the pink little like sheepy kind of things on it. So, right, okay.
At this point, he doesn't probably have to use Pop-her up. He could probably burn himself a game with Pop-her up if he really wanted to flex. He's got enough cards in hand. He's got like 8. If he adds another card, then it's just going to be like mad flex. He's not going for Tri-Gate here. He's going for Sleeper IP Masquerader. I'm fairly confident he had the full Tri-Gate board. Absolutely. I'm very curious as to why he didn't decide to go for Tri-Gate. His board would have been much more impressive.
Does this go into some kind of Dark Ruler out? I mean, there really is no monster you can summon under Dark Ruler that would be useful, right?
This isn't a Dark Ruler out for sure. I don't know if he just wanted to have maybe dig for Droll and Lockbird. I can't think of what he would have wanted to dig for.
Is it maybe because this offers more disruption with the Masquerena or something?
It just would have been a Tri-Gate.
Right, yeah, it's hard to see. But anyway, so Matteo's going to draw for turn here, and he's, as we see the Graph, which was stacked on top of the deck with the Spiral Drone.
So he knows to play around Graph.
Yep, he definitely knows to play around Graph. He's got that check marked in his mind.
Check mark.
Check mark.
But I think the first thing he's going to do is
Dart ruler.
Dark ruler no more.
Okay, so let's switch off the field real quick.
I love how he's giving him dice. Just to like, yeah, I'm just going to turn
What
it
does
up.
this indicate?
300 attack from Saryuja.
Sure.
I don't know why he didn't summon Sleeper in the zone Saryuja points to, just so it gives an extra 300
Give
attack.
it a nice little boost.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. He could have given his Sleeper a little bit
Not
more.
that it matters, everything's just been, the light switch has been turned off now.
Yep. So let's see what other kind of archetypes and cards he's decided to go for here. Maybe we'll see a farm girl at this point. I wouldn't be surprised, like, honestly.
Now, from my binder, Cosmo Farm Girl.
So there's a Psychic Tracker coming out onto the field. Or
Just a generic level 3, you can special summon from your hand.
And Tuna as well, which I
remember what people were doing with that way? You can special summon Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit, so you can tell he could be a defensive card as well.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
That was because like Ghost Ogre is like the only like Ghost Girl hand trap that has an on-field effect. They all
as
activate
well.
from hand.
Conveniently psychic.
Yep.
Oh, there's a Levy in here, so that'll help do some mad pushes. So he knows that he has one DD Crow in his hand. And he's just been drawing Lockbirded here, which I'm not sure will have a significant impact.
I don't believe it will, no.
It'll turn off his rocket engine if he does go for...
like something like Absolutor or like the Guard Dragon thing with like Romulus getting Dragon Ravine, so that's not going to be
so it
working.
shuts off Romulus, but I don't think that'll be too much of a problem, maybe. I mean, he knows this deck more than me.
Levineer doesn't target, correct?
No,
Right, so that's going to be
effect response.
God, I love that, especially when you used to like mask the chain with banishing Thunder
With
Dragons.
The Thunders, yeah. That's what I loved Levineer the most, because it was so powerful, insane removal that you could chain block and also gain advantage through the Thunders as well. I'm not sure how it would gain advantage here, other than just being spot removal.
So the important thing to know here is that despite the fact that he is under Dart Ruler no more, that Last Resort is still technically considered treated as a spell and trap, so Sleeper is still protected under the Dart Ruler no more.
That's right, yeah. And he can also use stuff like hand traps like DD Crow there, which he's currently going to use, which you're seeing in Game 1 as well. He used it on the Gob again. So now he's thinking, I'm probably relatively safe now, right? He's used that DD Crow he just added. However, he has one more.
One more DD Crow and a Call by the Grave. Do you think maybe it's correct perhaps to use Call by the Grave?
He also has Call by the Grave, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, do you think it's maybe correct to use Call by the Grave before your DD Crow?
No,
so you don't reveal hand information?
No, well, he already knows he has a DD Crow.
Oh yeah, sure, it was from the Starling, my
Yeah,
bad.
so you keep as much information from your opponent as possible.
Yep.
He's probably thinking that's a rescue set. So now that Call by the Grave could potentially blow him out and make him pass.
Yeah, we'll see if he has enough pushes here. He's going to go for the special summon of Graph into the zone that...
Is that not a normal summon?
Yeah, actually, yeah. It could just straight up be the normal summon, my bad.
It looked like it. You know when you can tell
Why
when it
doesn't the
looks like
BA
a normal summon?
Yeah, I know.
Like people special summon and normal summon in a different way.
I'm sure everyone is curious as to why the BA doesn't die. But Cherubidian is a Burning Abyss monster.
And it was pointing to him too. So that's a unicorn, so he's going to
Unicorn
attempt to spin maybe the back row?
Oh, discarding the Spiral
he's just
Dragon.
He saw his win condition, so he's getting rid of that Last Resort, so when he pops or removes the Sleeper from the field, it'll blow up his field, leaving him with no resources.
Yep,
so he understands his win condition now.
Okay, so he's going to respond with the Call by the Grave on the Spiral Dragon, it seems like.
No, I think he's going to hit the Graph.
Yeah, okay, yep, hits Graph there.
Trying to cut him off from his resources as well.
There's nothing really Graph can get here in this scenario.
I think he just wants to cut. He doesn't really know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. Like he's just
because like he's playing a really small PA engine. Like what would he get? Like I suppose Seer to bring back
he
the
doesn't know
Turbine.
that. Like,
guess,
it's a 60 card pile. You're scared of everything. Like
everything's
like
a
every time.
here.
No, you admit it. Every time you're in a regional and you play against a 60 card deck, you're terrified because you don't know what's going to happen.
Oh yeah, when I'm in the regional, I'm just like whack-a-mole. Like if there's a card in my hand that's live, I'm pressing it. Like I'm just slamming it down.
But now we see Levinia is going to remove that Sleeper, which is going to blow or just attack.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. He doesn't need to use the effect here. He can just simply attack over.
Yeah, that makes more sense to attack. Yeah.
The Sleeper is going to bring back Super Agent in defense, just as a wall of sorts. And with
so now it's effectively going to leave him with nothing, I don't think.
Yeah, Matteo has nothing left, just a Levianeer and a Unicorn.
Oh, but he does have Spiral Resort, which can keep him in the game.
Yeah, I think like despite the...
And a Rescuing Griff. Actually, he's fine. the more I look, I think, it's actually looking better and better when I actually pay attention.
Yeah, so Matteo did a really good job of like cracking the board, but it seems like Giuseppe's follow-up here is going to be really strong, and I think he's going to be able to sneak one out here.
Which is a huge compliment of Spiral, which we've said time and time again. Even though a board gets cracked or gets Nibiru'd or it looks like in a tough spot, its utility is absolutely insane. Like Resort has back-to-back recursion, If you have any leftover rescues or missions in grave, you can use that for utility
there's
as
a
well.
guy in the grave, so you can bring it back, etc. It's a
And
super,
he called
super
it
zone
right
deck.
as well. He got monster.
I don't think that was a really hard call, was it?
It's like 42 out of 60. I'll take my chances. Monster. But here he's going to bring back Spiral Helix, which he didn't banish, or Sleeper, which means he's going to get some mad advantage now. He can add back the Sleeper.
Yep,
Yes,
that's exactly what he's doing
here.
here.
It does do that indeed. Don't look shocked. It can add back from the graveyard. What? Spiral Helix does what? And the strongest play of the game, normal summoning. Drawing Lockburn. That drawn Lockburn coming in.
And here comes Borrow Sword.
I was
with
thinking he would go for
Sleeper.
Appaloosa, but my brain is just not on today. Like, he's just going straight for a Borrow Sword, and this is
Yep, just
likely
going to end the game here.
Yeah, he's picking up his stuff.
Yeah, Matteo's going to scoop it up there, and that is 1-1. We are even Steven in this match.
Amazing. I guess the board didn't really matter because of Dark Ruler no more, but be able to have Call by the Grave, which not only stops hand traps and has really good utility against this deck in particular as well, and just in general, and having 2 DD Crows and a draw, made it so that Dark Ruler no more did absolutely nothing.
Yeah. I think that Matteo did a super great job of breaking the board. Dark Ruler, clear everything, attack over the Sleeper, but in the process of creating that board, he got himself a DD Crow to stop the Carbonedon extension. He also hard drew the Call by the Grave. So despite the fact
And
he was
another
able
DD Crow too.
Yeah, and another one. So it was, despite the fact that he had managed to crack the board, he still had too much sort of hand advantage.
And what can you do? Like, not many decks can play through draw, DD Crow and Call by the Grave. And being able to crack the board still. But like I say, Spiral, he used that play to add back Resort to his hand so it would stay safe on the field because it would have got blown up with Sleeper and the game would have probably went a bit different there.
Yeah.
And being able to just add it back with the Helix and keeping a rescue in grave meant that its follow-up was just too good.
I think Giuseppe's going to have a little bit more of a better idea of what his opponent is playing now.
Just a little bit.
Just a slight...
Just a smidge.
Yeah. He's probably trying to... he's probably understood now that this is some kind... Because he saw, like, the Guard Dragon plays. He saw, like, the Levianeer, the BA engine, and the Carbonedon. So he's probably aware it's some kind of, like, a graveyard deck. And he's most likely expecting to go second, I suppose. So
but if in doubt, Mystic Mine.
Yeah.
So just activate Mystic Mine.
Activate Mystic Mine. We could see that happening here. That's an incredible out to a lot of fields, evenly matched. Dark Ruler no more of his own that he's siding, so we could see like a really impressive reverse sweep here.
The thing that's in Matteo's favour though is we haven't seen him do a first turn combo, so Giuseppe isn't going to know what on earth's going to happen. So he's not massively sure how to side deck because he's got cards like Dark Ruler no more, and it's just like, what kind of board does he put up? Does it end on a counter trap? And
I think
he's got
it's
like
safe
evenly matched, just like does he end on a card that negates? He's I think Mystic Mine's probably a safe one because that has a lot of coverage.
Yep.
I think he would just have to go with it and just throw in like the evenly matched Dark Ruler no more.
I think the important thing to
Mystic
note
Mine.
is that Giuseppe isn't aware of Matteo playing the Imperial Order combo with the Nightmare Griffin and Curious.
That's spooky.
So that's a really, really, if you draw Dark Ruler versus him opening that, it's
nothing. It's a blank. It becomes a blank.
Exactly.
But if he could have a variation of combos as well, like he might play the Imperial Order, if for the odd time where he hard draws it, or if he decides to go for that combo in that particular game, or maybe he has another combo where he can do with more cards if he was to go for like. What sort of monsters does he play? He's got Hope Harbinger as well, which you can like end an defensive card. Borrow Savage, which is typically what the Guard Dragons do. So again, who knows? I guess we'll see. He's got Appaloosa as well, so he has a bunch of options. So, and again, what is the right option? Because the 5 hands are going to be different every time. So
this is the advantage that you put yourself in when you play such an unorthodox deck at a major event like this, because your opponents, they're all going to know how to play against Spiral. They all know how to play against Invoke Shaddoll.
Especially deep in Top Cut as well. Like, who would have thought in top 8, you got yourself a switch, and then suddenly you're playing against Cherubini Turbo, and you're like, what? It can just happen, and he's doing well so far. Will he get the top 4? Let's see.
I just think, when you play something like this, it clearly...
It's a gamble.
It is definitely a risk because you could just go like 0-3, or you could just go to Top Cut because like your opponent's going to have to like read all your cards and not going to really be sure.
That's the most annoying thing about doing things unorthodox, because I feel like it takes longer to play because everybody's looking at your cards like, what? Can I get a translation? I'm like, oh man.
It seems like it's fine for Matteo because he's just playing this sort of deck where it seems like games kind of end quickly. You go first.
That's the dream.
Yeah, right.
Everybody wants to snack in between rounds.
So he is indeed going to go first here, and he's got the Carbonedon combo, it seems like.
Oh, you just know that day because you activate Fossil Dig. Ah, that must be the combo.
Yeah, so you go over
Searches tour guide, normal tour guide. So that normally gets over. That normally gets an Overraptor, right? So that's not what I'm used to.
Yeah, so typically what you used to do is go Overraptor, dump Carbonettin, banish yourself, go into Ib, but here is just going to be a normal summon.
Carbonettin level 3, I'm guessing?
Yep, so you special summon it with the junk forward, normal the Carbonettin, make Cherubini, and now you've got the Carbonettin access as well as the Cherubini access from your deck.
And your boy is back.
Yep. It's interesting to note that Matteo actually sided for going second, despite the fact he's got Book of Eclipse. That's a little bit peculiar.
No. That can be used as a going first card.
I suppose,
He probably wanted to side out because he's got a lot in the main that he's got stuff like I'm looking at the spiral deck. He's got Dark Ruler no more in the main deck, so he needs to side that out for something.
Okay, that's fair.
Because like going first, that does absolutely nothing. He might potentially not want the Call by the Grave, and there might be a couple of monsters that he takes out there as well.
I think like the way he's built his deck is like, because I was thinking to myself, if you're gonna have like a generic 3-off card to come in when you go first, you maybe just take out the Dark Ruler and just put in 3 Solemn Judgment. It seems like kind of a no-brainer here. But the cool thing about Book of Eclipse is it's got a really versatile application, going first and second.
Exactly, yeah. I think a lot of quick play spells are really popular just because they have applications going first and second.
I just can't get over that this is like vanilla dinosaur he just summoned from his deck with Carbonet. I don't know what that is.
Give you a little giggle. I don't know what it is. That must be his favorite vanilla dinosaur. What's your favorite vanilla dinosaur, ladies and gentlemen?
I think my favorite vanilla is like Mambo, I guess. Space Mambo, that's the one.
Yes, I think Space Mambo is really good because you can overlay it to make a
Bahamut Shark.
Bahamut Shark.
Yeah.
And it summons a toad.
All right, here we go into Curious. All right, okay, interesting. So this is... Yeah, all right, and Seer triggers as well, bringing back the Cherubini.
I didn't know that was a thing.
What?
So you can just summon back Cherubini.
So you can summon back any...
I know when I saw that for the first time, I was just like, are you kidding me? What? That's insane. That means you can link ladder much better.
I remember one time I tried to steer back a Malakoda.
Guessing you can't, right?
No.
Yeah. It's a ritual monster, right? So.
I've always tried to make ritual BA work.
Is it a Burning Abyss monster?
Yeah, it is, but it just it has to be correctly summoned.
Can you bring it back if it's been correctly ritual summoned?
No, it specifically says must be special summoned or something like that. Anyway.
What a shame.
What a shame.
Did you ever play the Jinlock Malakoda version?
Yeah, Rhoda into Colossalus, get Psycho Banish Jin, summon Colossalus back.
Oh, no, not the boring one. I mean the Malakoda one.
Yeah, with Jin.
Yeah, but you don't make Colossalus, you make Malakoda.
Okay, anyway, let's not get ridiculous here.
So he's made Appaloosa for 2. So that's step 1 of the negates, I suppose. 2 negates. So I'm not sure what he's going to do next. He looks like he's got an eye on his Tracer.
Did you manage to catch what he sent with his Curious?
I did not. Imperial Order? Yeah, there it is. Look at it.
Just wanted to show you guys. This is what he summoned with the
Dragon has
Carbonated.
taken down countless prey with its sharp fangs. It strikes very quickly because if it does not strike first, it is vulnerable to a counterattack.
See, that's lore there because it has 100 defense.
Oh my god.
That's why it's vulnerable to a counterattack.
That is depth. Absolutely.
All right, so we're going into LP into Brotar, getting the Levianeer. I suppose he's going to go for a loop of 1 card from his hand. Could just straight up hit the Mystic Mine.
Oh, yes.
That would be a very clutch card to hit, indeed.
That'd be very pog indeed, if he was to just hit the 1 and 5
I'm trying to think here. If he Mystic Mines him, what does Matteo do?
He probably just shakes his hand.
Well, he's playing 60 cards, so it's not like he can deck him out.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Yes.
Well, I suppose you could deck him out because you can resort, recycle your thing.
No,
you could just do that, right?
No. You would have to OTK him at some point.
Why? Tell me why that's bad.
Because you can't risk put cards back in the deck in Spiral.
You can't risk putting cards back.
No, you can't put cards back in the deck in Spiral. Rescue adds it to your hand. It doesn't put
Resort.
it back in the deck. Resort.
The field spell.
Well, you get to add back 1 every time, and he just draws. That'll take forever.
It'd take forever, but you could just win the duel. I hope he doesn't. I'm looking for a mine
live
deck
on stream, 10 minutes. This will be
but here comes the Levianeer, so this might hit the mine at the hand.
Oh my god, please. It'd be so funny. Is he going to hit it?
Roll 6, reroll 2. Ooh, didn't quite catch that.
I don't think he did. I think the Mystic Mine was 1 of 5.
Let's see.
If he hit Popper up.
He actually got it! Oh my god, that's so big! That's so big! He hit the mine!
Absolutely insane!
What? He hit the mine out
He's
the
like,
hand.
oh, well, I guess I'll just rip it with Levine here. That's absolutely insane. Well, I guess we've got to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Now. Oh, shit. Oh my goodness.
That's incredible.
Well, at least he didn't rip out one of his engine cards because he can still, like, kind of play because he has
Yeah, he's got the
Popper Up.
Popper Up rescue
If he
plan.
took the Popper Up, that might have potentially have been
You
bad
could've
as
just,
well.
You could have just bricked him, but I feel like if you just mine and pass for a few turns, you'll be okay.
He's ideally going to end on Borrow Savage Dragon, right? So the mine wasn't really doing anything. I'm sure there's a way to end on Borrow Savage Dragon. But that doesn't do anything.
Yeah, you can 100% get a Savage Dragon. He's got Tracer access, so he's definitely going to make Savage Dragon at some point.
Well, exactly. So the Mystic Mine didn't matter.
suppose.
So putting that back was probably not the most optimal thing. Even though it was really, really funny, it probably wasn't the most optimal thing to do.
Please make Star Eater.
What, we're level 8 and a level 4? It's level 11, bro.
I came across someone once who, you know how Star Eater says cards and effects cannot be activated when this card is summoned?
Right, yeah.
So he goes Formula Synchron on his opponent's turn and summons Star Eater,
Right.
thinking that you can't activate cards the rest of the turn, like Azathoth. But that's not what Star Eater actually is. It's supposed to, like, you know, on summon, you can't bottomless it, basically.
We're also being dumb, by the way, because he sent Imperial Order with Curious, and he sent.
Oh, was that the one he sent?
Yeah,
oh, okay.
yeah.
So
He
yeah,
sent Imperial Order, yeah. So
mine's
mine
useless.
was like whatever. Like it would have been better if you got rid of
Why
that
couldn't
Pancratops.
you just let me have that? I was so excited
Yeah,
for the mine
I
rip.
was laughing so. It was so funny. Now Twitch chat's probably like, huh, idiots. He's got Imperial Order. Well, we are dum-dums. But he's got
suppose it didn't
Pancratops.
matter.
He doesn't really have a play. So he can go like Pancratops Turbo, swing over the Appaloosa, and then pop a card.
I don't think he has any more plays past this point, right? Other than just set the order, 2 negates with Appaloosa, and
he
Griffin itself
probably-
acting as a floodgate, right?
Griffin, yeah. So it means that you won't be able to pop a Pancratops. Oh wait, no, it's cost.
So just bearing in mind that Nightmare Griffin reads that...
That's so monsters in the field cannot activate their effects unless they are linked.
Yep.
So even Pancratops, even though it tributes to a cost, can't activate their effect unless it's linked. So he could actually special summon it in the zone Appaloosa points to if you wanted to use it prematurely, but then it would just get negated by Appaloosa. So you would have to attack over either Appaloosa or Griffin here if you wanted to use its effect. And Snake's just watching, just chilling there, watching everything. Hey guys, want to watch what's going on?
What was that, an actual like rendition of Snake's real voice?
I'm Tsuchinoko. What's going on? Oh, Imperial Order. That's really good.
Please don't step on him.
Yeah, don't step on Snake.
All right, so it seems that he's going to...
So 11 year again.
Yep,
Okay.
yep.
Very fun. I'd like to see where this is going.
3 monsters banished there, and just summoning it as it is he once per turn
IP
effect.
Masquerade.
going
Oh, okay.
into
Oh,
Nightmare Phoenix, okay.
So is Appaloosa can't be destroyed by battle now,
Yep,
which
so
is insane, which touches Pancratops right off. But he has just ripped a Dark Ruler no
That
more.
is a Dark Ruler no more,
which
yeah.
does nothing to an Imperial no more.
Oh, yeah, you see, he does know that. He's staring here and he's thinking to himself, well, this would have been good, but that order combo...
However, he can respond. So he's holding it in case he just randomly has a Twin Twister in his hand. So he would go Dark Ruler no more, and then you just enchain Imperial Order, and that's very yikes, some might say. There's no real way to bait it either.
Nope.
So he doesn't have an engine either, so he's in a bit of a tough spot as Giuseppe.
I suppose you can, like, pop her up, just get ordered, Dark Ruler would just get ordered, Pancratop doesn't really help because of the Phoenix and the Griffin.
I think he has to just attack the Phoenix. Attack the Phoenix, which also can't be destroyed by battle, so...
I'm kind of stumped on this puzzle here. So,
yeah, I think...
I don't know, attack Appaloosa for some damage, and then...
It's too many pieces, man. I don't want to solve the puzzle.
You can attack Appaloosa,
He's in a tough spot.
do some damage.
There's nothing he can do.
He can activate Prankertops, but it doesn't...
There's an Appaloosa on the field.
Yeah, exactly. So
he can activate it because it is linked by Appaloosa pointing at it, like pointing at it right there. But
he really
if he does,
seems to be snookered here.
then Appaloosa the dice just goes from 2 to 1.
So he is going to go for Popper up here, discarding 2 as cost, Master Plan and Rescue.
That's good because it means he has the Rescue Engrave, which makes it live. And that, so he knows he knew he had Imperial Order, so that's why he took a while to think.
So the reason he did that is just specifically so he could put the Rescue in the graveyard here. He's not going to take any damage.
He is going to chain the Pancratops on to force out Appaloosa, just so it has one less negate. Yeah.
And then during
this is smart. This is smart stuff. This is probably why Popper Up is arguably better than Extravagance, because you can discard cards that allow you to make plays.
Yeah. It's a really cool card that just came out in Ignition Assault. Send up to 3.
It is up to 3, yeah.
Up to 3 cards from your hand to the graveyard as cost, and then draw that many, and then you take 1,000 for each card in your hand. And he's just got to scoop it up. He's got absolutely snookered by that board, didn't he?
Snookered. There wasn't a whole lot he could do there. We're looking at his hand.
It
like,
really wasn't, no.
Like, to Appaloosa with 2 negates, Griffin that can't... The fact that before he made the Phoenix, I was thinking, he's probably okay here. He can apply a lot of pressure with the Panker Toss, but as soon as he made the Phoenix, then he had the foresight to know that his Appaloosa's not very big.
Yeah, so Nightmare Phoenix protecting from the from monsters being destroyed by battle.
It's very important there.
Wow.
Figure Lord is good. Very good.
In hindsight, I suppose if he drew evenly instead of Dart Ruler, that would have just won the game, right?
Again, this happens all the time. If this card was something different, I would have won the game.
Yeah,
you know,
but he just doesn't.
If he drew a different side card.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's like you just don't have that foresight when you play against a deck like this. You know, you just don't know, like, what is my opponent actually ending on? Because Game 3 was the first time that we saw the Nightmare Griffin combo happening, right? So he didn't know that.
Yeah, we haven't seen that all day.
Yeah, so he couldn't have prepared for that, right? Unless
you mean in the match, yeah, of course. Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Which didn't know what he was going to do first, so he didn't really know what his side plan was. I imagine he still threw in, because he threw. I think he threw in everything. Panker Toss, Mystic Mine. I imagine he threw in evenly matched as well. But that fear of the Borrel Sword Savage just means that you can't really win either way here. You have to throw in everything. Well, actually, that's probably why he went for the Dark Ruler no more, because it outs Borrel Savage, whereas evenly matched doesn't. So he potentially might not have sided in evenly matched because he was worried about Borrel Savage. Then just lost the Imperial Order.
People are probably so excited to see his deck list at some point, which
in top 4 as well.
Yeah,
incredible.
He's still advancing in the tournament. He's still going with this absolute crazy iteration of a deck. I mean, we did see Shunping at the UDS play a rocket deck, but
yeah, maybe this is the spice.
It's got rockets, and then he's kind of just added some more engines to it to give it a lot more like various combos
a lot
and
of stuff. He's managed to fit it all in one column in monsters with his very small handwriting as well. Very impressive. He's even used a ruler to draw the lines to separate them as well. Huge commitment. Very good.
So I believe that we have a player interview to go to just momentarily. This is actually going to be it for me and Darren for this YCS. This was the final round that we'll be seeing, and Marcello and Alberto will be in top 4 and the final. So if you guys enjoyed this, make sure you give us a little PogChamp in the chat and make sure that you show that you've been having such a good time. I've enjoyed this. I've had an awesome time. It's been great working with you, and hopefully you guys will enjoy the rest of the stream in top 4 in the final. We're going to head on over to Matteo as he explains a little bit about what this is.
And we're back here with the winner, Matteo Bertulezzi. Congrats, man. It was so incredible to watch you with this unique deck. We were just shocked even looking at the deck list. How did you come up with this deck? So, for everyone watching, we are going to do a little bit of both things, so Italian and English for you guys, but he understands English. He's just probably going to answer in Italian.
I have this idea when I don't sleep in tonight, and I create this deck. I don't know. It's a dream, probably.
Yeah, it's a dream for us to watch you, honestly. It has been incredible, and what are your hopes? I don't think you expected to go this far. Now you gotta win it all for all the Italy. I am proud, of course, of what you're doing. Do you have anything to say to all the Italian fans out there?
Cosa vuoi? Raga, datemi il vostro supporto. La Genki Dama.
Give you your energy, so all up in the air for him. This was Matteo. He's gonna advance. We're gonna watch more from him in top 4. 4 more duelists remaining. Who will take the crown of YCS champion in Utrecht 2020? Keep watching. We will be back soon.